There is something wrong with the universe, and nobody really knows what it means. At the moment, the James Webb Telescope has certainly discovered galaxies that theoretically existed before the Big Bang. This calls into question the Big Bang theory and our entire cosmology to date. Science is faced with a seemingly unsolvable problem. Although researchers such as the Swiss physicist Fritz Zwicky already knew of alternative explanations for our universe 100 years ago, it is precisely these ideas that are now becoming topical again. Hardly any schoolchildren today know the name Fritz Zwicky, but we do know names such as Albert Einstein, George Lemaitre, and Edwin Hubble. These are the researchers whose theories laid the foundation of our cosmology for almost a century. Albert Einstein described space-time, came up with the Big Bang theory, and Hubble observed the apparent expansion of the universe. However, all these theories are now being put to the test, and the new superstar among telescopes is responsible for this, the James Webb Space Telescope. This marvel of technology has provided us with so many fascinating images of a previously unknown universe that we now understand the old theories can only be wrong, or at least incomplete. Fritz Zwicky was a contemporary of these great researchers. The Swiss physicist, who also studied the movement of galaxies and the dynamics of the cosmos, proposed a theory that is once again topical and the subject of heated debate today. The idea of tired light is very simple. Zwicky postulated that light is not constant, as Einstein claimed, but that it undergoes a physical change during its journey through time and space, which he called fatigue. Einstein asserted that nothing travels faster than light and that the speed of light is always constant, not behaving relatively like all other known forces in the universe. It seems logical that researchers have long used light and the speed of light as the great benchmarks for exploring the universe and determining such important values as distances and the rate of expansion. Before we examine the possible flaws in these theories, let's take a look at some of the fascinating galaxies discovered by the Webb telescope. These galaxies are absolutely impossible to explain with its ultrafine senses. The Webb telescope looks further back in time than any other telescope before it. Thanks to red light spectrography, Webb can detect light that is very faint and significantly shifted into the red spectrum. The first deep image of the universe showed galaxies that existed around 13.6 billion years ago. The amazing thing was that no galaxies actually existed at that time. It all started with the astonishing discovery by Harvard student Rohan Naidu. He and his team announced the discovery of Glass Z13, a galaxy that demonstrably existed around 200 million years after the assumed Big Bang. Its age suggested, at the beginning of the Webb era, that galaxies could have evolved faster and earlier than previously assumed. However, some researchers did not believe this at first. Then came GNZ11, which, with an estimated age of 13.4 billion years, provided overwhelming proof that the old theories are no longer tenable. GNZ11 is one of the most distant known objects in the universe and was originally discovered by Hubble, with the discovery confirmed by the new Webb telescope. GNZ11 offers insights into early star formation and galaxy formation in the young universe, thanks to Webb's stunningly accurate spectrometer analyses. It is currently clear that stars and finished galaxies existed much earlier than previously known. CEERS 93316 was discovered by the Cosmic Evolution Early Release Science Survey. This galaxy was originally estimated to be an incredible 13.8 billion years old, which sparked enthusiasm among some researchers and brought others to the barricades. The discovery of other galaxies allowed for ideas of a much faster evolution of matter, which served as a loophole for researchers who were eager to hold on to the Big Bang theory. A galaxy that is just as old as the Big Bang complicates this picture and raises the possibility that new approaches, such as the eternal universe or Zwicky's theory of tired light, may be more likely. The age of CEERS 93316 is still the subject of heated debate, with discoverers constantly presenting new evidence for the authenticity of the find and critics attempting to refute this evidence. HD1 is another unusual galaxy, estimated to be 13.5 billion years old, and is one of the most luminous among the very old galaxies discovered so far, indicating an unusually high rate of star formation. These are the facts that scientists are looking for because HD1 could help deepen our understanding of the conditions and processes in the universe during this epoch. Let's take another look at MAX 0647 plus JD. It's not one of the more obscure newly discovered galaxies, but it still has some interesting features. Mach 0647 plus JD was discovered through gravitational lensing with the Hubble Space Telescope and then further studied with the Webb telescope. With an estimated age of 13.3 billion years, Mach 0647 plus JD is not one of the oldest galaxies but is strangely one of the most evolved. It existed only 500 million years after the Big Bang, yet shows such a high degree of order and size that this galaxy should actually be several billion years old. This means that the time of formation of this galaxy would have been before the Big Bang, which cannot be the case. These galaxies are only 5 of 15 confirmed impossible galaxies, and there are more and more of them. Tired light, which Zwicky already theorized 100 years ago, presents a compelling explanation. Imagine the most crucial component that scientists have used to study the universe has been misunderstood until now. Light is not constant but becomes tired over time. Minimal differences could change distances by several million light years, rendering our measurements completely inaccurate. Another possibility within this theory is that light physically behaved completely differently 13 billion years ago. Consider that the light hitting the observation mirrors of the Webb telescope was emitted 13 billion years ago or more by stars that no longer exist. Of course, Earth did not exist at that time, not even our Sun, and it's likely that only a small precursor of our galaxy existed. These particles of light, therefore, traveled incredibly far and for an incredibly long time. As the light traveled, space also expanded. If the idea of the expansion of the universe is indeed true, this expansion could have stretched the light, but we don't know that for sure. We have no way of measuring or investigating the original light. We can only deal with the light that has undergone this extremely long journey. Despite these hurdles, these faint light signals are actually miraculous. The mysteries of time, space, and the journey of light allow us to study the universe as it was 13.5 billion years ago. This is fantastic. Interpreting the signals is a bit of a guessing game. Researchers must take all the fixed known quantities and derive constants, similarities, and meanings. This is how our theories and explanations are created. In addition to light, there are several other quantities that researchers use to measure and describe space. These include certain phenomena that always behave in a consistent way. If it turns out that this was precisely the mistake, we would be facing a complete reorientation of science. Rendra Gupta, a Canadian researcher, proposed a theory in 2023 showing that a small modification of these cosmic constants quickly leads to a much older universe. Not only would the age of the cosmos change, but variables relating to expansion and origin could also be completely different. Gupta presented a coherent calculation suggesting that the universe could be 26.7 billion years old. He further showed that a small adjustment could lead to an age of 40 billion years, which would simply explain why we see masses of galaxies in Webb's images that suggest a much older universe. Gupta also considers Zwicky's ideas and demonstrates that the picture of our universe turns 180 degrees when just this one small component of tired light is taken into account. Science can go no further. It is fascinating to observe how the scientific community reacts to these new circumstances. One person who was excited about the new findings is U.S. astronomer and astrophysicist Michio Kaku. Kaku is regarded as an exceptional researcher who has written many books to bring the mysteries of the universe closer to ordinary people. He enthusiastically explained that the Webb telescope completely reshuffles the cards in science and welcomes these changes. He has known for a long time that something couldn't be right. Alongside his passion for the visible universe, Kaku is a strong proponent of quantum physics. Quantum physics and classical physics still don't quite mesh, further indicating that we must have a flaw in the system. Other researchers, such as John Mather, the project leader of the Webb telescope, are sticking to the old theories. Mather told the press that he firmly believes the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago was correct in that matter, and therefore galaxies form faster than previously assumed. A third scientific genius currently making headlines is Sir Roger Penrose. A few years ago, the British scientist postulated a cyclical universe in which there is a kind of basic matrix that transports the idea of matter from an old universe into a new one. According to his model, all information is stored when an old universe dies, allowing matter to be quasi-turbo recycled in a new universe, which could lead to a faster formation of stars and galaxies. Penrose's model also predicts that black holes play a crucial role in these cycles. In his model, black holes are essentially the last physical entities remaining at the end of a universe after they have consumed all the matter. They then evaporate or collapse at lightning speed. This moment of collapse essentially marks the birth of the new universe. Surprisingly, several research groups from the USA proved in 2023 that our universe could theoretically have been created in a black hole.